It's Mac and Perry in the place. Da-na-na-na. Mac and Perry.
Go live to create.
Da-na-na-na. Mac and Perry invite you to stay.
Hello and welcome to On Location in Lethbridge here at CASA. I'm Daniel.
I'm Michael, and this is...
Pistols and Parachutes.
I'm Matt.
I'm Carlin. And
Together we make up the acoustic duo, Pistols and Parachutes.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining us here today. And I'm super excited to just dive into our first segment with you, which is our icebreakers. But before that, can you just tell us an overview of what it is you do? You're a band, right? What else can you tell me?
Yeah, we've been playing music here in Lethbridge, I'll say like loosely off and on for since 2010, so almost 15 years.
yeah, couple hiatuses here and there.
Yeah, it was like very on and then very off and then a little bit back on.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah.
We just made our best album ever, right?
Yeah, we've been working on this an album for a long time. And we're very excited to actually get it out and have people hear it.
Yeah. I'm super excited to say it's been on repeat for me for the last little while.
Absolutely, yeah, that's what we like to hear.
Yeah. We'll dive into our first segment though, which is trivia. How are you two with trivia typically?
Depends.
Very much depends on the topic.
Well, it's Lethbridge trivia because it is on location. So I will just pose our first question to both of you. You can work as a team.
Did grow up here.
Awesome.
He said before maybe missing some questions. You got me.
Okay. Lethbridge has approximately how many kilometers of trails and pathways throughout its coulees, regional parks, and rolling prairies? A, 365. B, 280. C, 200. Or D, 99.
Okay, I was gonna say 200 when I thought it was gonna be a guess instead of a multiple choice. So that's my instinct. 200.
What was the second highest one?
The second highest one was 280.
That feels like a bit much, doesn't it? You could be surprised.
Someone's gonna be mad at me
though.
if I get this wrong, but I think 200. That's my best
Okay, you
guess.
sound more confident than me. We're gonna lock it in. 200.
200 is your final answer? Final answer. All right. Unfortunately, it was B, 280.
Oh, 280. Oh, you were right. Dang it. Okay, well that's better. More trails is better.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. I'm going to throw it over to Michael in a second here to ask you your next piece of trivia. And again, you can work as a team.
Excellent.
All right, fellas. Before it became the Goat Museum, the goat was A, an observatory, B, a coal plant, C, a hospital, or D, a dance studio.
Well, the town was originally called Coal Banks, was it not?
Yeah.
So, coal plant?
I
near the...
I know the answer to this one.
Oh, you do?
I
Okay.
do for sure.
Okay.
It was a hospital. I have been to that museum for so many field trips. It was a hospital. I know that one.
Nice.
Final answer, yes? You're right, it was a hospital.
Nice. Great. 1 out of 2. That's not too bad.
Okay.
And I will throw it to, we'll go with you, Carlin, for your piece of trivia. I think I'm for you here. If you want to read off your piece of trivia.
Okay. So, I have a piece of trivia for Michael. And it's about Daniel. How well do you know Daniel?
It's about 50-50 at this point. Usually I get about half of them right, so we'll see.
Okay. Daniel has written how many original songs on the guitar? A, 1. B, 3. C, 7. Or D, 11.
Yeah, I don't think it's 11. I know he recently performed one of his songs at an open mic, so he just mentioned the one, so I'm going to go with one song.
Oh, I'm sorry. He has 3 of them. The correct answer is B.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
How do you play all 3?
I just, taking it slow, trying to build confidence. I'm not a very confident singer like you two, so yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
We've been here.
Yeah. Awesome. We'll see how I do. If you want to read off your pieces of trivia.
Absolutely. Okay, so it says Michael's father is a musician. On the day Michael was born, while his wife was in labor, Michael's dad made a quick stop to do what before going to the hospital? A, write a verse for a song about his son's birth. B, pay his bandmates for their last performance. C, grab his favorite guitar from a buddy's garage to serenade baby Michael. Or D, pick up an amp for a gig.
Oh, goodness gracious me. Those are so detailed and oh my gosh. I have not heard your birth story, Michael. I don't know why, but I'm gonna go with paying the bandmates from a kid.
Bandmates. See, that would be a good story too, but the answer is D, pick up an amp for a gig. It's a very important task. You got to make sure it gets done.
And to be fair, I was born 3 months premature, and so they didn't know it was the day, so it was like, it's just a false alarm. I'll just run this quick errand. So.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you.
That's
for
good.
Playing along with there. We will move swiftly along to our next game, which is this or that. So I'll just let you pick one from the hat, and we'll just see what comes up and what our preferences are. I'll let you go first.
Okay. Do I show people?
Yeah, you can just read it. Yeah, yeah.
All right. Oh, so is this question to anybody?
Yeah, it's all of us.
Breakfast or dinner?
Where would you sit?
Oh, well, for me, I mean, I like breakfast food, but just for variety's sake, like I feel like anything's on the table for dinner. So, like, I'm dinner.
Dinner?
That's fair. I was torn, but then I was kind of realizing like I will eat just about any breakfast food for dinner, but there are very few dinner foods I will eat for breakfast. So I got to go with breakfast.
I would also go with breakfast. I love having like an English breakfast for dinner. It's just like, yeah. And I would echo your sentiment there. Yeah. Awesome. I'll let you pick the next one.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Spotlight or spectator?
Ooh, what are you typically, Carlin?
100% spotlight. Yeah. I can talk in front of 800 people at the drop of a hat and not really care. Yeah.
And how about you, Matt?
I am very much a spectator. It takes having a guitar hiding most of my body to get me on a stage in front of people.
Yes.
So
It's odd. I'm a teacher. I stand in front of people all day, every day.
but they're like 9, so it's very different.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here with us and doing this. Yeah. Let's see what else we get. I think for myself to answer that question, I would go with spectator. I've always, which is odd because I'm an actor.
Interesting for an actor.
Yeah, but I've always been like pretty observant, and so I think that's like my natural place and state where I'm like most comfortable. But yeah, our next question is.
What about Michael?
Oh, that is a great question. What are you
Thank you for asking me, Carlin. I appreciate that, to be included. Yeah. I would say generally spotlight. I'm also an actor by training, so I do like to be in the spotlight. It's a great place to be. All right.
Awesome. Our next question is matching or mismatching socks, and I'm gonna hopefully cut to Michael right away here so I don't forget him.
You're going to go back to me? Okay. I would say matching socks, but I've got like several pairs of the same socks, and so they could actually be switching out, and I have no idea. But mostly matching. How about you guys? Let's go to you.
I definitely try to match mine. And yeah, like sometimes you mix them up, but then, you know, I try to search for the ones that have the same markings on them. Like I deliberately do that. It feels wrong when I put on 2 different brands, or even like, let alone colors, even just brands. I'm like, oh, that's the point. They go together.
It's fair,
I mean, that's how I feel, but
right? I went through a phase where I like intentionally mismatched my socks, and I don't know what I was thinking. I'm very much a matched socks person nowadays. Like, I could get away with it if it's like dark and I put them on, as long as they're like, I don't have like one ankle sock and one regular sock, then like I probably would be fine. But like, if I have my choice, they're gonna be matched.
But you had to try, so you knew. You're like,
Well, I did it by accident once, and it was awful.
oh,
So.
gotcha.
Awesome. We'll do one more from each of you.
Ooh, would you like to be buried or cremated?
We're going there.
Man.
How about you, Matt?
Like, honestly, I don't really care. I don't have strong preferences. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. It's not something I've thought about too much. Like, I feel like weight of tradition would say buried for like my family and my faith, but like, I don't think about it too much. I don't have a more concrete answer than that.
That's fair. How about you, Carlin?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I haven't really put too much thought into it either. Although it'd be good fodder as we get older for writing a song.
That's the song.
Later on, you know. But I haven't really considered it too much so far. The only one thing I would say is, I don't particularly care what happens to me as long as my loved ones have a place to go to remember me. And I think that's the point of being buried. Although you could debate the logistics of it. I don't know.
Oh, super insightful. Yeah, I think for myself, I would probably pick cremated, but it's not an option on there. But if I could do a green burial and be a tree or something, that's probably also what I would do. Yeah. How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I've thought about this a lot actually, but yes, I agree with Daniel. I would probably do a green burial. Another option, I've like donated my body to science, so they just take all the good parts, which I assume will be most of it, and use it for stuff. So that's what's happening to me.
Sweet. Maybe by the time we go, I can just get like launched into the sun or something. Just like.
That's something cool. Well, you did write a song where the first line is "If I was a tree."
Oh, that's true. I did. I
Yeah.
forgot about that one. So there, I need to be a
He was
green burial.
He was subconsciously thinking about it.
Yeah.
More from yourself there, Matt?
Oh, I got way too many. There we go. Okay. Pay for parking or risk it?
How about you, Carlin?
I've been risking it lately, and I regret that because the parking meter people have been on my butt, and yeah, it happened a couple of times, and then I was like, okay, I'm paying.
Yeah.
You got me. My fighting the power is over.
I think for myself, I would usually pay, but I will do everything in my power to try and find a place to park for free if I can. But sometimes it's unavoidable. So. How about you, Matt?
I'm pretty much a rule follower, so I pay. Back in university, I didn't, and I did the thing where you find everywhere possible in your power. There was one semester where somebody convinced me that it was cheaper to risk parking in the parking lot and get even if you got 3 or 4 tickets, it was still cheaper than buying a parking pass. It did work, but I felt guilty the whole time, so now I just pay.
How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I would generally kind of agree with Carlin. I would probably risk it. Yeah. If you put your trunk up, then they can't see your license plate. So.
There you go.
Right on. Move on to our next game here, which is Tumbling Towers. So quick review. You can't pick from the top 3, and then once you pick a piece, it goes on top. Each block corresponds to a question, and we're not super sticklers of you can poke around and see which ones are loose.
Pick from the top 3?
You cannot pick from the top 3. Yeah.
Just the top
Yeah. So maybe, go ahead, Colin. Yeah.
Oh boy.
What happens if we knock it down? All the questions?
It's only ever happened once.
It's only ever happened one time.
Awesome. Number 20. Our question is, what do you find yourself recommending to people you first meet?
These days, Severance.
Okay.
I've recommended you Severance.
You have several times.
I love
You need
that
to
show.
watch it.
It's a cool concept. What if you could put a chip in your brain that separates your work life from your personal life? There's a lot of really cool philosophical questions and what really makes a person, and the cinematography is gorgeous and the performances are great. Yeah, it's been Severance lately.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I don't even know. It depends on how the conversation starts. Oh goodness.
Yeah, I think
I don't
for
know.
myself,
Yeah.
I think for myself, I would obviously be recommending pistols and parachutes, lightly, right? Given the context.
That's what I should be doing. I'd be recommending my own album.
Check this out.
We can come back to you. How about you?
Yeah, think of something real quick.
Yeah, I find myself recommending to people. I like the Lethbridge Public Library. Sounds kind of cheesy, but they have a library of things, and you can just sign out things like binoculars and camping gear and stuff. So check it out. I'm always recommending it to people.
Okay, I've got an answer. I will say fountain pens. I got into fountain pens a little while ago, and I'm thoroughly hooked. And I found out you can buy them at Analog Books here in Lethbridge, which was both wonderful and terrible.
You did tell me you were getting into pens.
Yeah. So that's what I recommend to people these days.
Awesome.
There's a subreddit for that.
There is.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. I'll let you do the honors next.
Okay,
If you go
I
into
was
it.
looking at this one, but I can't get it. Oh no.
No.
But that one's safe.
there you go.
Okay. Number 35.
What other language would you like to speak?
Me? Well, I did take some Spanish classes and went on an exchange. So at one point I was passable at it, but I'm no longer that way. So I'd like to get that back up to speed. But I'd also like to learn some French so I can feel more Canadian, Yeah.
I will say ASL. I got to learn like a decent bit of school vocabulary when I had a student in my class who that was his primary language. And I have forgotten a large part of it, but it's really cool to be able to I could talk to somebody down the hallway through the window here. And I've found even just,
awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
I like that it opens up different possibilities for how you can communicate with people. So,
I love that. And it seems like with both, like either ASL or an actual, not an actual language, a verbal language, sorry. It's just practice, right? And if you don't have a reason to practice, then I think for myself, either ASL or French, I think I would love. I would be remiss if I didn't get to pick a block in case I knock it down, so we'll move right along. Let's see what we can get. Let's do this one. This is 25. What do you wish you had more of?
what do you wish you had more of?
That's a great question. I'm maybe cheating a little bit because I think this question came up in a different interview. But the first thing that comes to mind for me is connection and just being able to connect with people more. And maybe I should just get out of the house more. Maybe that's the way to do that. But yeah, connection is the thing I wish I had more of. So, anything come to mind for either of you?
I'm going to piggyback off of what you said because I was just going to say socks, but connection is so much better.
That's a good answer.
That's a better answer. Yeah, I should get out of the house more. I should talk to people more. I'm generally solitary. It helps with writing songs and making cool stuff, but got to get out there more. Right?
Yeah. I don't know if this is like it feels like it's very on the same vein. I was going to say like mental bandwidth, because like I'm almost on the opposite spectrum, opposite side of that spectrum of like I sometimes feel like I have too many people that I like want to connect with and can't, and I just sometimes I'll go months without talking to somebody, and then I think I'm like I need to like get coffee with this person, like catch up because I haven't talked to them forever, and like I really enjoy their company, and it's just can be so hard to like keep up with everybody that I want to.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think connection, it sounds like.
Right, connection.
Capacity.
Yeah.
You said this to me. You said the metaphor you used was
Like you don't have enough USB ports.
Yeah, that's how I talked about it. It's like I can only plug into so many people at once, and if I want to like plug somebody in fully into my life, sometimes I gotta unplug somebody else, and it's like, who do I unplug?
Yeah.
It's
Cutting on the bandwidth. It's cutting it down. The transfer speeds are not there. You know what I mean?
Yep. I think we are out of time for this segment. So it's been great getting to know your preferences. I know it is still standing. So yeah, this has been On Location here in Lethbridge at CASA. I'm Daniel.
I'm Michael, and this is
Pistols and parachutes.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be right back. Hello and welcome once again to On Location here in Lethbridge at CASA. I'm Daniel.
I'm Michael, and this is...
Pistols and parachutes.
I love it. I love being in sync. I love that. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm super excited to dive into your interview segment here. My first question, we'll just dive right in, is what can you tell me about your artistic practice and journeys? Let's go together. Yeah.
Well, start from the beginning.
Sure, yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, you were the impetus behind the band, so.
So I played in a band in high school, and then when we both graduated high school and were heading to university for first year, we ended up rooming together in our grandparents' basement. And Carlin, I think you got a guitar like before we moved in.
I did, yeah. I got Guitar for Dummies.
Yeah.
And I knew like 5 chords.
And we were like, we tinkered around a little bit, but I think it was like probably within the first couple of weeks where I was basically like, okay, so we're a band now, just so you know. I don't know if you knew that.
I'm like, okay. I mean, I like performing, so I like to sing. Sure, but the one problem was I wasn't very good yet.
To be honest, neither of us were.
Yeah.
It's funny listening back to some of the recordings and stuff we did from the beginning because it's not performed very well. But there is like something interesting about some of the pieces where, we didn't know any better, so we would do weird stuff. Like I think maybe the first song we ever wrote together is in this like slightly weird tuning and it's finger picked in 6/8 time and it's waltz. And it's such a weird song. And there is not a recording of it that like I would play for anybody.
No, you don't get to hear it. We might re-record it in the future.
It could be. Yeah. But it's like when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, that's actually like a really cool like guitar part. I couldn't play it.
We needed the space to just play. Like we were still young and we just wanted to express ourselves and say the things we couldn't otherwise say. And that's what's great about songwriting is it's just nothing's off limits in songwriting. You can just go to the places you need to go to get to say what you need to say. Mm-hmm.
And so that was at the beginning of university, it sounds like.
Like back in 2010-ish, thereabouts. And then somewhere around 2010, 2011, we started writing some more songs. That was in the place where we wrote like some of the first ones that we still play. That were like, oh, like these ones turned out really well. They're good. And my brother graduated in 2011 and he joined us playing bass. And we picked up a drummer who I still honestly don't. How did you know Peter?
Improv class.
From improv. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. I
sucked at improv, but I found a drummer. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes, and would you like to drum with us? Yes.
Yes, and also we're gonna make some music, right?
Yeah.
So we made our first EP that, I guess our second EP at that point. That's the first piece of recording that we have that
we let people hear.
Yeah, I still I'm quite proud of it. I think it sounds better than it had any right to sound at the time. And we worked really hard on it, but by the time we finished it, because we have a habit of taking a long time to record music, our bassist had moved across the country and our drummer had moved out of the city at least, and so then it was just the two of us again. And so we
recruited my brother.
Yeah, we put together a new version of the band.
And I found another drummer, this time at a house party, not at improv club. I tend to just bump into drummers. Drummers are just around. They're just in the wild,
Turns out.
Yeah. So then sometimes you just bump into them, and we found one, and we made a record that was cool, and the songwriting was interesting, but it was also flawed in a lot of ways. We were going for an aesthetic that we weren't quite good enough to nail, but I love a lot of the songs. So that was like our sophomore experiment. And it was cool. Then that band broke up. And then it was the two of us again, so we decided, the two of us is the heart of this whole deal, so let's just sit with my uncle, his dad, our producer, and just make a record involving the three of us, and let's make it really dang good. And the result is this album that we just put out.
Yeah. You did skip the part where, you moved out to Vancouver for like 4 years, and we didn't do anything at all musically related. But that part's
tangential.
not important.
Yeah.
I might get to that in a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Because that's super insightful, like hearing kind of starting in university and just a little bit of that journey. But I guess I'd also be curious, going back a bit further than that, maybe from each of you individually, what was your artistic journey like in your youth? Was there an artistic journey there, or what did that look like?
I mean, yeah, I guess I'll go first. Like, we grew up in a pretty musical family. We're cousins, by the way. I don't know if that's come out anywhere. We're cousins, and so we have a shared family history. And music was a pretty big part of that, I think, all over the place. My dad, like, actually literally picked up a guitar and sang to me in the hospital when I was born. So that did happen. And so, like, that has been a part of my life literally since I was born. And I tried a few times through growing up to learn how to play the guitar, and it never took. Until I think I was in grade 9, maybe grade 10, and my next door neighbor and our friend, they were like hanging out one day, and one of them played guitar and one of them played piano, and they started like playing music. And I was like an angsty preteen, and I like wrote poetry, and I like ran home and grabbed a poem, and I came back and I was like, I have words. Let me be part of your band.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Can I just quick sidebar?
Yeah, go.
You want to know the title of the first EP for his first high school band?
Oh goodness.
we do.
It was called "Are They Eating Pizza?" Question mark.
Yes, that's what. Yep. I don't remember why. There was an inside joke connected. Oh, actually, I do remember why. We were recording a demo in our church building, and somebody came in late and like walked up into the balcony area and like looked down and was like, "Hey, are they eating pizza?" And the demo, like what we were recording on like a crappy MP3 player, and it was still recording, and it picked that up. And they were not eating pizza, actually, is the truth, unfortunately. It would have been better if they were, but...
I never heard that story. This is a first. This is an exclusive.
There you go, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess then I haven't stopped being in a band since that point.
And grabbed words, you said?
I did. I had words, and they were also not good.
Oh, he's a big time writer.
But, yeah.
He's writing novels and stuff. Like,
I've been basically writing something, whether it's songs or stories or whatever, since I could spell words. And that was, I wrote lots of poems about trying to understand why my first girlfriend didn't want to be my girlfriend anymore.
That's where we all start.
Right?
Where we all start,
Yeah.
I do want to hear about your early artistic journey, but I would actually just really quickly love to hear more about writing and novels. And was that like encouraged by your folks, or was it just something you were drawn to?
I mean, yes, like I think my parents read to us all the time growing up. Like one of my actually earliest memories is of my dad reading us The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and I pictured like Peter from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe as Peter Pan from the animated Disney movie, and then I assumed that the rest of the characters must be also from that. That's how I pictured it through the whole read-through. Right. And so, yeah, like I wrote lots, and I'm sure that my parents were happy to have me writing stories. And yeah, so it morphed into poems for a while, and then into songs, and these days I've been chipping away at the same like novel for probably 6 or 7 years now, but it'll be finished one day.
One day. It's like you take time to write music, right? And put that together, so that can take time too.
We'll get there.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Cool. And how about yourself? Artistic journey in your youth? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I always enjoyed writing too. When I was in elementary school, I actually did get a poem published in a poem book. I forget what it was called, but it was just about New York City, because my family went to on a vacation to New York City. Like it was like a year after 9/11, Well, for people our age, like 9/11 was a formative experience, right? We remember being in school when it happened. And so I got to go see Ground Zero the year after. And so I just wrote a poem about the ambience of New York. And then I threw in a reference to 9/11 in there, but I like tried to make it like an in memoriam. I just felt really moved by it. And so they put it in the book. And I was like, oh, I guess people like my writing. So I always enjoyed writing, but in terms of music, he's right. We come from a musical family, but like it just kind of laid dormant in me, like epigenetics or something. It just got activated at some point when he comes along and he's like, yeah, we're in a band.
Here, guitar.
Yeah, yeah. And then I was like, oh, all right, oh, these chords sound nice. Oh, I can write stuff. Cool. Yeah, and it just went from there. But my other big artistic pursuit was I just like writing silly stuff, like screenplays and shooting stuff with my friends. So I was a video guy. So that's my other pursuit. Yeah.
What can you tell me about that, like in your youth, getting to do that with your friends, and what did that mean? How do you think that informed maybe your music now, or yeah?
I mean, it was just, I just like to make cool stuff with my friends. And that was always the case, and I just happened to have a camera, and I like to make funny, silly things. And I don't know, we take our music pretty seriously, but you know, like I think the carryover was just I like to make cool stuff with my friends and family, and to me it was another collaborative, creative project. And you know, I just like building something that's bigger than what I could create on my own.
I add too that like I think. So I'm gonna add your story here now.
Okay.
Like the way he got the camera was he had a paper route delivering papers here in Lethbridge, and saved up the money to buy this like expensive digital camera. And so like looking at that and connecting that to here is like that also was this obvious that like doing art was worth working hard for. That it's like. This is something that I want, and it's necessary for like making this art, and that it's worth like putting in the work.
You don't even know why you want to make stuff; you just do, and then it's like if you get accolades for it, if people like it, cool. But like, I've always just made stuff because I want to make stuff and I want to share it with the people
closest to you. Yeah. Were there any examples of sharing like anything you made, either with friends or family? What was that reaction like?
I mean, okay, so
for our music, like we share a bunch.
We have been playing our music like with and for our families for a long time now, and so I come from a big family. I've got 7 younger brothers, and my youngest brother, we're like almost 15 years apart, and so he was like in his early like he's 4, 5, 6 when we were first going back out to my parents' place and playing some of our songs. And so I don't know if this will fit better in a different question, but like there's one of our songs that's on this new record. It's called Now the Monsters. And it was the title track of one of our earlier projects. And that was like a rock band version. And that in his mind is what the song is. And I don't think he's ever fully forgiven us for re-recording it. But
it's actually, it's like he has formative memories of our music.
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
It's kind of cool to think about. Because to us, the songs are more malleable because we wrote them.
Yeah.
But to others, once you create a song and you put it out into the world, it belongs to other people. They have their own memories and moments associated with it too. So you got to weigh that. And it was just interesting seeing that, like, wow, like his younger brothers were really attached to some of our tunes, which was awesome.
Yeah, it was a cool experience to figure that out. I don't even think I realized it until later down the line when they would like talk about it and be like, oh yeah, like honestly, until he brought up like that, we played him the new version. He's like, it's okay, but it's not as good as, and I didn't realize that he'd been so attached to the original version.
Yeah.
That's really beautiful. And I'm curious, like, are the rest of your brothers like artistically inclined, or like, is it like a family thing? Or
mostly, yeah. We've got like most of us sing in some capacity.
Okay.
I've got like one who he's like going to school, he does graphic design, he does videography. Got another one who like has written and played music. One of them played bass with us. Another one like does percussion and like woodworking and craftsmanship. I think pretty much all of them do. In some of them are more like social media oriented, but like cultivating that profile and getting the right pictures and stuff, right? So, but like, yeah, we're all artistic in one way or another.
Yeah, and I have one younger brother and one younger sister as well, and they're both artistic in their own ways. Like
Yeah.
my younger brother joined our band for a stretch. One of our albums has him on it. And then he also writes his own songs. He was in his own band. And then he also, I don't know how I didn't get this gene, but both of my younger brother and my younger sister are just really good doodlers and like visual drawers. And I'm like, I didn't get that.
But
yeah.
lefty.
Yeah, right. I've noticed how I raised my left hand. So like my entire childhood, I would write across loose leaf and have ink on the side of
your
my
hand.
Yep. And so maybe that subconsciously pushed me away from. Yeah.
Fountain pens are no good for you. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into your pen thing.
No drummers though. Between all the siblings, no drummers.
No, I always had to go find
Find them in
not
random
really.
places. Yeah, I would go on excursions to find a drummer.
That's why you went to the house party.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, kind of coming back up to like university, handing the guitar, kind of falling in love with like writing music together. It sounds like. I'm just curious, like, what do you feel like music meant to you at that time? And like to be musicians, did you even consider yourselves musicians at that point? Like, yeah.
It was very much a part of the identity, I think. Probably by the time I graduated from university, I had to let go of that a little bit. But yeah, I think there was definitely like a couple of years there where that was like a primary piece of my identity. It was like, oh yeah, I am a musician, I play in a band, like I write songs, and we have a drummer, we play shows, and yeah, it's like I think, I don't know.
For me, it snuck up on me later, like because he was in bands in high school, and I was still going through Guitar for Dummies and learning the D chord. So, like he was already, I'm a musician, and joined my project. And in the beginning, I was literally not very good that I it was silly to me that I was a musician. So like talking about making silly videos, the first recording project we ever did, I just made some silly mockumentary on the side in between takes. I would take his brother would finish a bass track. I'm like, oh, come do a silly interview, or I'd be a British interviewer. We're gonna do some stupid behind the music spoof.
We're gonna pretend you're Spider-Man.
Yeah, we did all kinds of silly stuff like that. Because to me, at the time, like we did take the music seriously, but I was like, it's so silly that I'm a musician. It wasn't part of my identity yet. It took some time for it to sneak up on me, where I did the things enough that I'm like, oh, I am a musician. I can step into that and I can own that. I can say that like without reservation. I don't have to put an asterisk next to it. So
I'm actually really curious about, like, it sounds like you're kind of like leveraging or utilizing something else that you were doing artistically to potentially help you, do the musical things. Does that resonate?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because it was a creative space. Like when we would get together and record music with your dad and your brother and your friend from high school, it was a creative space, and so it was putting me in that zone. And like sometimes there's like some synthesis going on there, and yeah.
And I'm curious, like, of like the dynamic between you two, of like, working together as colleagues, would you even consider that the case? But like as family as well, and like, how was that dynamic of considering yourself a musician and, doing the things, but maybe not, identifying with it like 100%? What was that dynamic like?
Certainly changed over the years.
Yeah. And it's funny because at the time when we first got started, I knew I wasn't very good. my buddies that I played with in high school were both like very, very good musicians, and I could strum some chords. And so like I'd been bit by the bug. Like I really enjoyed it, but I knew I wasn't good. And so then like when we came and when we started writing music, like I knew that I could play the guitar better than he could, but that didn't last very long. And so like I don't actually remember a point other than like maybe the first couple weeks where I was like, oh, I am like the better musician here. Like it was very much like, oh, you played guitar so much, so fast. And like
I felt like I had to catch up. Yeah.
that that's kind of what
Because
we
you just
did.
kind of threw me into a band. So
Oh,
I'm
kind of.
like,
Yeah,
I
you
gotta
had no
catch
choice,
up.
right?
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
playing songs. That's what we
Yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah.
Go to class and then get home in the evening and play music.
So I lived on YouTube, Marty Schwartz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It was at this point now, it's almost like we went through that beginning part where we kind of had to figure it out, and then I think for like a long, long time, it was very much just like, well, this is just our thing. Like, I don't know how. Like, I got enough brothers. I don't need more. But it kind of was just that like we co-created this. This band is like, whether there's different people in it or whatever, it was very familial in that sense. At least that's how I felt about it. That it was like,
even people we brought into it that weren't family, we tried to make them part of the familial atmosphere.
yeah. I feel like there's a bit more of a colleague aspect now that it's like we have to. When it was in university, it was just what we did. There wasn't much else to do, right? It's like finish class and then play music, or stay up until 3 a.m. and talk about philosophy. But like we were roommates all through university, and we spent all of our time together. Right. Now we have to like find time to do things, and there's a little bit more of the like, okay, well, I've got time on the 28th at 6 o'clock. How about you? And right, like, oh no, I can't do that day. Okay, well, okay. How about
And as our life paths as adults kind of diverged a little bit, like he's a teacher, I'm an assistant editor in television, like we have different careers and lives outside of this, so it's nice to know that we spent so much time together, even as kids, because we're cousins, right? So it's nice to know that like this is our project, this is our well we can return to. So I don't know, I think it keeps us connected as adults, because I don't know how connected we'd be otherwise.
Yeah, I think that's an important thing to have. You know, to go to my analogy of the ports here.
The USB ports,
right?
Yeah.
This is the thing
I
that
made 'em,
keeps us connected.
I made him put a port for me.
I feel like because of the band, we are like hardwired in. There is no removing that port.
Yeah. Not when we make stuff this awesome, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
I'm really proud of our new record.
yes, you are. And
Start doing that more.
yeah, that's fair. I'm really captivated, like in university, just that idea of like spending so much time together.
Yeah.
What do you feel you got out of that? Was there any friction at any point?
Oh, all the time.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell me about
Oh yeah.
How did you deal with that?
We just argued a lot.
Yeah, we just just kind of argued until we ran out of stuff to say.
Yeah.
I don't see you two arguing, but okay.
Well, we're chiller now, but
Yeah.
like, you know, when you're like in your early 20s and you think you got the whole world figured out, and you come to
Totally.
different, we're the two smart kids who got different answers on the test. So we would have arguments, and then we would take those emotions and we put them into song. You know?
Eventually.
Some of it.
Sometimes it was like, you know, storming away and sitting on your bed and then coming out 20 minutes later and being like, and another thing.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
So.
Those were the days. Yeah, we're chiller now. Yeah.
And like, do you feel like that's because it is harder to find time now with the lives that you have outside of music together? Like,
I mean, that's part of it. I think part of it also is just like growing up and realizing that not everything, like your opinion on everything does not have to be dialed up to 11, right? It's like, I can have passive opinions on things or no opinions on things, and that's okay, because I only have so much time and energy to like manage what we're doing in a day, right? And so it's like I'd rather put my energy into the things that we agree on.
Yeah, we focus on the things we connect on, and then we go from there. So then we still find ways to collaborate. Like when it comes to writing songs, like we both love each other's songs. So every time, like that's never changed over the years. So like every time he writes something and sends it to me, or I write something, although I haven't written anything in a while, because on this new record we've gotten away with. We wanted to take our old songs and make them better. So I got to get back on the horse eventually. I got to start writing some new tunes because I know he wants to hear them, and that's actually an impetus for me. He'll be like, man, you got to write another song. Like your last one was so good. It's helpful to have a collaborator who says that, because if it's just yourself, like you're always your own worst critic. So you'll have something in your iPhone notes and you'll just sit, and then 3 days later you'll be like, this sucks. So it's nice to have it. It's nice to have somebody else who goes, actually that's really good. Like finish that. You've pushed me to finish songs, and I pushed you to finish songs.
Yeah.
And there's a competitive aspect because especially when we were younger, we did argue.
Oh, we did that.
So then when it's like you wrote a song. Well, I need to write a frickin' song.
Yeah, I got to write a better song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, but this is nothing new. I mean, like. There's lots of famous musical duos out there. There's something about the dynamic, right? And I think we've been lucky to have it.
Having somebody rooting for you and pushing for you, and then I also get this sense of like being of service, and like you said with family members, right? Once you give the song, once you kind of give it to somebody, it's theirs, and they'll make their own memories and relationship with it. And it sounds like you can do that with each other, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I think like the rough edges banging up against each other, that's not entirely gone. We ran into some of those moments while we were recording the record, the new record.
Out now on all streaming platforms.
But there was, I think one of the things that has happened now is that we have enough years of doing this together that like, I know there's times where like I would be so against some idea that like, and he'd get my dad on his side too. And they both were like convinced that this is what we need to do. And I'd be so against it, and I'd be so mad. And I'd get heated about it. And then I'd come back a few minutes later and be like, okay, you've been right often enough. I'm gonna trust you. I just don't like change.
Yeah.
And
so we know him well enough, and we love him, so that's the dynamic, right?
Yeah.
So then we just like we know that like when you're making art with collaborators, there's going to be friction because no people's two muses are perfectly aligned, even if you've spent years and years making art together. So like, but we know each other well enough, and we also have his dad in the mix, who's worked with us throughout the years, where like we can push through those moments of uncomfortability and see what happens on the other side. Because when you make art, I do think it's really important to go to places where you're slightly outside your comfort zone, or that you're slightly like, I don't know, because that's where the growth is.
Yeah. And if you're making art with somebody else, and you don't run into friction points where you disagree, I don't think you care enough about it. Like, if you care enough about it that you want to fight for how you think it should be, you're going to have those friction points, and it's just managing them. That's what you need to get through.
Yeah.
I think that's a wonderful sentiment to like end that like thought on, is managing them. So we'll pivot slightly here, just in the interest of time. I'm really curious about like your musical influences, and also the fact that like, yeah, you've been doing this for a long time. So where do you feel your influences started, and with who?
I mean, so we talked about that music was a big part of our lives growing up. And my dad was a big hipster. Like before that was a thing. He was hipster before it was cool. And so a lot of the music that I listened to growing up is like people you've never heard of because he found them on some early internet whatever board and like got a sampler CD in like a Vanity Press magazine that had songs from different, I don't even know. And so there was a bunch of that. And that definitely did inform like my musical tastes. There's a lot of this like rougher edges on things and just like the authenticity over polish. And then I remember it, like in junior high-ish, like grade 6, 7, 8, is where I started to like find music that I liked, that I felt I was discovering. And so, yeah, I remember the first time that I remember like really connecting to a song. I remember driving home from Lethbridge back out. I grew up in Vauxhall. It's a little town about an hour north of here, and I heard Switchfoot's "Meant to Live" on the radio, and like got home, got out of the car, and was like air guitaring around in my basement, singing this song at the top of my lungs. And so, yeah, like that's when I started getting into music that like I found that I enjoyed because I found it, and not just like what my family was listening to.
Yeah, it's so important to get those. Like, there's a certain age where music just hits you like a ton of bricks. And
What age do you feel that was for you?
it was "Holiday" by Green Day.
Okay.
Yeah. I heard it on the radio, and I was just like, "This is so cool." And then, yeah, so like for my early childhood musical influences, like just mostly listening to my dad's music on car trips. So the one record that he would always play that I still think is good to this day is 5 Days in July by Blue Rodeo. He would play a lot of stuff that was like kind of country, but not really. It wasn't like country, like, I don't know, Toby Keith or, but he would play stuff that was knocking on the door of it, but not quite it. And so that got in, but then for me, being a teenager, you know, I liked some pop punk songs, I liked some AC/DC, and then the first time I heard Nirvana, I was like, oh, Kurt Cobain has the coolest voice. You know, if I could sing like him, that'd be so cool. And I'm sure you can hear shades of it in my voice. But yeah, I was a big 90s rock guy. That was how I distinguished myself in my musical taste. So, yeah.
And I'm curious, do you feel like your influences or tastes align more now, or are they even more, or are they different? Well,
Different, but we both love Switchfoot.
I think we've got a similar, like we overlap. And it's funny that, because I was saying, like I grew up with the raw like authenticity over polish, and I feel like we have almost like inverted on that, in that like there's some of that I'll listen to, but like I am the one who will tend more towards enjoying pop music now, and you're definitely the one who will go more like garage rocky kind of, like raw or swaggery
looser
kind
stuff.
of.
Yeah. It's funny how that switched.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. But yeah, like we definitely, like we have music that we align on, that we really enjoy. I think if we could afford to go to NoahCon, we both would love to go to NoahCon.
Oh yeah, we really like Stick Season. That was good.
But yeah, then we definitely have like also our own like spheres outside of that we're pulling in different influences from. So.
Yeah, I tried to get him into Radiohead to a moderate level of success. But,
There's been some.
Yeah.
I like the Bends.
in the interest of time, I'll keep myself to like 2 more questions. Okay. My next question is just about like, you know, what's a non-arts related skill that you feel like you've either developed naturally or that you've had to like focus on developing for the sake of making music together?
Non-arts related skill.
Could be a different artistic thing that you work on, and maybe that impacts your music in some way. Or,
Well,
lately for this record, it's been really helpful that I did have a gig as a social media manager. So it's been helpful for putting stuff on our Instagram and our TikTok, and not feeling lost in that realm, because making content, I know a lot of bands hate doing it, because it's like, it is a job. Like, if you want to grow on social platforms, you got to make a lot of stuff, and it sometimes takes away from the music. So it's helpful that I had already had the experience of knowing how to video edit from my previous like just from my years of making videos and stuff, and then I learned how the platforms work and how to frame things for TikTok and Instagram and whatnot. So that's I know there's artistic aspects to that, but even just the non-artistic parts like the scheduling or the how to caption things or whatever, like I guess that's artistic too.
Yeah. If you want to find something artistic, you can, but no, that makes sense. Yeah. Anything come to mind?
I mean, talking about working on this album and stuff, I had to learn how to use. I designed all the packaging and stuff. So like, there's the art direction piece of that, of like making the images and stuff. But I had to learn how to use Photoshop and how to like, and then I also had to learn how to use Illustrator and how to run it through different pieces of the computer programs because I have a Mac, and getting it to like transition through, I can't even remember what the file type is, into the correct type of PDF so that the pressing company can access it was something else.
all the stuff that bigger artists have a person on their team.
I needed a
that
guy
does.
to do that, and I didn't have one.
Yeah.
Maybe you make them another improv session. So.
Can I find these people in the wild like I do with drummers? Yeah.
Awesome. I'm just always curious about like what other skills. But my last question for you is just how has being creative influenced your everyday life, do you feel? Hard-hitting question. That we end with.
That is a good one, yeah. That requires a thoughtful pause.
Yeah, that's okay.
I mean, while you're thinking, I'll go.
Yeah, for sure.
Like in a lot of ways. I like whether we talked about whether it's like making music or writing stories or whatever it is, like I don't know really how to not be creative. That's just part of who I am. But like for music in the moment, like I'm a teacher, and there's been some cool moments where like my grade 4 students like find out that I'm in a band. And like I had some of my students who I taught last year come up this year, and like they found our record on Spotify and were playing it while they were hanging out together at the one girl's house. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. It's neat having just like something else to connect with people over. Is like, hey, this is something that you can know about me, and you can like get to know me a little bit on that side, like through the music we make. So I think it's cool to have something like that people can know about you.
Anything come to mind?
Yeah, I would say practicing creative things has helped me trust my intuition in life just in general more. It's made me a more well-rounded person. Like I'm kind of logical and heady, and practicing creative, whether it's music or videos or anything that requires being in touch with like the muse, it's not fully logical. Like sometimes a word or a chord or anything will come to you and you don't know exactly where it comes from. Sometimes it feels beamed to you from somewhere else. And yeah, like some of the best stuff I've come up with just feels like it just tumbles out, and you're like, where did that come from? So like getting in touch with that other part of myself that's not so logical and heady, and then applying that to the other parts of my life, being like, well, I can't think my way or reason my way through how to solve this right now, but it'll come. Like the answer will come. Like it'll hit you. You just have to be open to it.
I love that. Yeah, that idea of like intuition and just owning what you're doing and allowing people to connect with you through it. I think that's a beautiful way to end our interview with you. So yeah, I'm excited for our showcase, so cool. Stay tuned. But yeah, this has been On Location here in Lethbridge at CASA. I'm Daniel.
I'm Michael, and this is
Pistols and Parachutes.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to On Location here in Lethbridge at CASA. I'm Michael.
I'm Daniel, and this is...
Pistols and parachutes.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your segments with Daniel and hearing about your guys' story, and we got to play some icebreaker games. It was really fun. Yeah, this is the showcase portion, so obviously you're being musicians. We get to hear some music. I'm really excited to hear one of the songs from the album. So yeah, what is the name of the song you'll be singing?
This song is called I Have Always Found You.
All right, take it away.
Sunrise on the courtyard, soft cries after dawn. It's no surprise that you've been broken. It's no surprise that you were gone. You've been lost before. I have always found you. Blue skies into a twilight, and nothing ever stays the same. But you'll always hear me in the thunder. You'll always feel me in the rain. And you've been lost before. I have always found you. Now morning comes after darkness, and some things you don't belong. It's getting lost and getting closer. It's getting up to carry on. And you've been lost before. I have always found you. And I have always found you. And I have always found you.
Lovely. That was just amazing. Thanks so much for playing that song. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess I was listening to the lyrics. It's very beautiful, but maybe you can just tell me the story behind the song.
That's you, man.
Yeah, this one's one of mine. I wrote this song somewhere in the midst of our big creative burst through university, and it was sort of me wrestling with this idea of like worthiness, almost, of like, am I worth loving, worth caring for? Because you live, you're going to mess up, and so having to go through, come to terms with being broken, with being not who I wanted to be. And so there was the verses are a lot of just this recognition of I am not who I wish I was. But the whole thing is told from an outside perspective of yeah, but yeah, we all are, right? And it's despite all of that, this has happened before. You've been here before, and it's fine. I've always found you. Whether you take the song from the perspective of a parent or a friend or a lover or God, whatever it is, that's that there are people who are going to look at us, and no matter what our faults and our failings, that they still are always going to be there. And that was, so it was definitely one that like, I wrote that when I wasn't sure I believed it, but I needed to hear it. And so then that was definitely when I've said this, like, this is a song that I would quietly get out and like play to myself at 2 o'clock in the morning when I woke up and was like feeling awful about life. And so it was, I think, the last song we decided to add to this album.
Yeah, he was surprised when I picked it.
Yeah, I kind of was.
We had cut another song and we needed a new one, and then I came across an old video of him playing that. And he's like, really, that one? I just play that to myself for comfort.
Yeah.
I'm like, but yeah, that's sometimes the most personal ones are the ones that are most broadly resonate, so yeah.
And to be honest with you, that's been our experience with this song is like, we've put, before we finished the album, and it's out on streaming now, all of it, but we put a couple of songs out and we did like music videos or lyric videos, and our first music video got like 300 YouTube views, and we were very excited by that. And we, like, Carlin was doing the like social media thing and like boosting posts and stuff. And then we put a lyric video for this song on YouTube and didn't give it anything at all. And somehow this is like an order of magnitude more viewed than any other video we've put on YouTube. And like
comments from random people saying, what was the one that said, I don't know how I stumbled across this song, but I am grateful nonetheless.
Yeah, that was a cool experience for us to have something like that. So yeah, it feels like it resonates with people, which like I'm grateful for, and it almost feels kind of like cliche to say as a musician that like, oh, I didn't expect this to be the one that people would connect with. It's too personal, but like, I didn't expect that this would be the one people would connect with.
Yeah, it's true. Like sometimes the musical cliche is you become a musician and you're like, yup, that was straight out of behind the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lovely story. I'm so glad that it resonated with people and that it was a very popular song. And I know, I think I understand that like all the songs on these albums, like they're from different times in your lives. And I'm curious, like, did this song like change at all from that time that you first wrote it to now on this album?
Yeah, we did rewrite the second verse slightly. I think other than that, we added another guitar part.
Yeah.
So like it was very much a single guitar part, and it was a simple little song that I played by myself.
Yeah.
And that was actually kind of challenging to figure out what the second guitar part should be.
Right.
That took a lot of work because it was this simple song that didn't really seem like it needed much else.
Yeah.
And then we kept trying to put things and not being happy with what the other part was. But eventually we landed on this one, and
it took some time.
Yeah, we got there. And so, and then to be honest, I think like the second verse was more just about like polishing it up. We didn't need to change the.
I remember thinking like, we just wanted the lyric, like I saw sort of progression through the day in the lyrics. So like you start with sunrise on the courtyard, and then I wanted verse 2 to be a progression through the day. So then we settled in blue skies into twilight, and then the third verse was morning comes after darkness. So it's the progression of a day.
Yeah,
over the
that
course
wasn't there in the original
over the course.
Yeah,
I felt like if we sometimes moving through time helps you encapsulate the feelings when you're structuring things verse. Well, is it a chorus? It's more like a refrain.
Yeah.
When you're structuring song verses, sometimes it helps to add a time element in addition to the feelings you're trying to express, because it helps you like put them, contextualize them.
Would have been your influence then on that part, Carlin?
Yeah. I'm so grateful for that, because it was already a great song, and we were open to playing around with words a little bit more. Because when we were younger, we were both writers, so we were both precious about our words.
Yeah, we were definitely.
Yeah, it's like I wrote this song, so don't touch the words. You can play along to it, but I wrote the song. Now we're like, let's put our heads together and see if we can't polish it up.
Yeah, it sounds great. It's a really lovely song. Am I lucky enough to hear another song from you guys? You think, is that in the cards? Yeah? Which one do you think, what do you think you're ready to play?
I don't know, I was kind of thinking about Half-Hearted maybe? Can you do that? Or
I cannot do that one right now because the tuning would be very wonky.
Oh, you're in a wonky tuning for that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could do saccharine, or I was anticipating Now the Monsters being the second song.
Is it okay if we do saccharine?
Yeah, we can do saccharine. That's 3, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Now the Monsters has a good story.
Yeah.
You want to do Now the Monsters?
Sure. We're very well rehearsed. It's a little bit louder, this one. We'll try and do like not.
Yeah, we'll try not to go ham.
We'll tone it down a bit.
Yeah, watch the levels, I guess.
Now the Monster.
Yes.
Correct, yeah.
There's a searing right on the back of my neck, and I can't keep my raging fears in check. The last thing you said was so hard to hear. Now I'm lonely, and I can't shed a tear. Now my righteous hands touch this cold window pane, and my holiest memories are forever stained. And every single hour in this restless night, against these things, I'll test my mind. What if I said I'd fail you without you to light my ways? No more imaginary friends, just me alone inside my head. The Father turned his face away. How much longer can I stay? And I'm standing here so weak. And now the monster coming my way. You're just a shadow, a photograph now. And these cynical voices are growing ever louder. And there's no answer from the complacent stars. I think of you when I tend to all my skies. What if I said I'd fail here without you to light my ways? No more imaginary friends, just me alone inside my head. The Father turned his face away. How much longer can I stay? And I'm standing here so weak.
amazing. Oh,
Well, thank you.
lovely, yeah. Definitely a little louder, but great song, yeah. Yeah. Very fun, yeah. No, not at all, yeah.
Hopefully the mics are okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, great song. Yeah, tell me the story behind this song.
So this one, so we've alluded to in our interview about like having philosophical discussions and about like arguing about as one of his favorite songwriters puts it, life and love and why. So that song was written by me, and it's very explicitly about me losing my faith in God. So when that happened, like he's still a practicing Catholic, and to this day, like I'm still not religious, but it was quite a thing for me to write. Like it was very vulnerable for me to take a song like that to my still very Catholic cousin and be like, "What do you think of this tune?" Like there's a line in the chorus about like, just me alone inside my head, no more imaginary friends, and to me that's like very explicitly like, I don't know if I believe in God. Like I can't hear him in my head anymore, and to him, like for him to be open enough to take a song like that and to just add to it and like connect with it in his own way. I mean, like, how do you connect to it? How do you approach it?
Well, I think like there's definitely some aspects of like that exact story because like I'm like I believe and I'm practicing in my faith, but that doesn't mean that that's always easy or that it's always like clear. So I also have some of those moments. And so like I think to me like a lot of it, it's interesting because we actually had conversations about this song when our first version of it, re-recording it for this album, was very much like it was an acoustic version of the original one. We played exactly the same stuff, just on acoustic guitars, and to me it felt very much like the young rockers, but now that they're older and wiser, it's just a little more laid back and there's a little more wisdom behind it. And so I don't know. I've connected with this. I think you can correct me if I'm misinterpreting. I feel like you connect to the song as like an immediate, like the line, "Now the monsters, they come my way," as having been like,
especially now,
this is like an immediate,
then,
like I'm in the moment of this. And I have always kind of connected to it as like, as being like, something to wrestle with, and like either this was a thing that has happened and I'm through it now, or even just like, we get almost like the devil, right? Like, hey, here come the monsters, but like I'm familiar with them now. I know them.
It's interesting. Our re-record of this song feels a little bit more like these are monsters I can handle.
Yeah.
It's with age and maturity, it's gotten easier to like just handle the themes of this song, I guess, because it felt more immediate when I first.
Yeah, it felt more pressing, right?
Like pressing,
I remember like, and this is part of the thing. When you're 20 and you're convinced you're right, it feels very important to win the arguments, because if you lose, then maybe you're wrong. And then now I think there's, from this side of the last decade, it's a little easier to look back at it and be like, yeah, but did we both learn something? Right? And it's like, I'm sure there's stuff I don't know. And so if we're having a disagreement, then it's okay sometimes to leave it and be like, yeah, like we disagree, okay.
Yeah, you can be comfortable in the ambiguity. And it's really cool that that we can still come together and do that and make great music because of that. I think it's important to note that you write your song and you have a particular interpretation, and I'm tapping into what the song means to me when I'm singing it, obviously. But he has a slightly different way of coming at it, and that will happen whenever you're collaborating with another musician, and it's so cool how someone else can give you a slightly different interpretation or find their own way in that's not quite the way you intended it. And both these versions and both these interpretations can coexist and come together and make a better song.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, there's so much there. Yeah, what a great story behind that song. I'm so glad that you're able to share that. Yeah, I think, man, I could talk for so long, but I think we're getting pretty short on our time. Yeah, I guess just to finish off, I know you mentioned it before, but where can we find the album?
Our album is called Pistols and Parachutes, just like us. It's a self-titled album, and it's available on Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, anywhere you get your music on the internet. It's on there.
Yeah. And it will soon be available on vinyl, and probably we'll have that on Bandcamp, or you can like wave at us on the street and I'll pull it out of my trench coat.
Yeah.
Any way I can get it to people, I'll be happy to get you a vinyl if you want
I'm
one.
ordering a bigger jacket as we speak, so I can stick some vinyl in my inside pocket.
Yeah.
We're excited to have some vinyl for sure.
You guys got a fundraiser for that, right?
We did, we did a big
did, yep.
Kickstarter in the spring.
Yeah, we
and
bugged our friends and family, and I knocked on people's doors.
it was something. I think we sort of went, hey, like I'm sure this will work. And then you get into it, and all the people who are like, you were sure we're going to pledge, and you're like, oh, we still need a lot more money.
They still need to be bugged, yeah. So you have to be that person.
But
hey,
it was cool. It worked out, and so we're really excited to like actually like have our music on a vinyl record. That's really cool. It's gonna be a cool feeling.
So awesome.
Look forward to the vinyl coming out as well. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate spending this time with you guys and learning about your music, your band, your stories, and for you playing some songs for us. So yeah, thanks so much for spending the time with us.
Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And thanks.
Yeah. Well, this has been On Location in Lethbridge at CASA. I'm Michael.
I'm Daniel, and this has been
Pistols and Parachutes.
Thanks so much for watching.